And welcome to a brand new episode of That Toy Life. Tonight, we are talking all about Ahsoka because it's coming up August 23rd, and we can't wait. We are big Star Wars fans. As you know, we come from the Outer Rim News podcast, but we're doing things a little different tonight. We're trying to consolidate some shows to give you just one place, one home to find all of our content. And if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, that like button. We sure would appreciate it. So now, without further ado, let's get into all the Ahsoka talk. And we're going to start out with introductions. As of course, it's me, Ashley. And with me, as always, which one do I want to do first? We're going to bring in Ray.
Ben, what?
Who's producing this episode?
We'll just throw us all in. Boom! It's a gumbo, baby.
Ashley, did you tell them to subscribe and to smash that like button?
Yes, I'll tell them to smash that like button.
All right. Just remind you every 5 minutes or so. We'll say, smash that like button.
Smash that like button. All right, so we're talking Ahsoka. We know Ahsoka comes out in probably 2 weeks? 23rd?
Yeah, 23rd. And
yeah, 2 weeks.
Today's 2-episode premiere.
Yeah. Yep, two episode premiere. And along with that came the announcement today. Well, the pre-orders for a few action figures from Ahsoka, which, yay. I know y'all were talking about it in the text thread that we have today. We're all hyped about it. So
I was totally surprised.
Yeah, that came out of
Really?
nowhere.
Yeah,
really?
No, I wasn't expecting it this soon. I mean, I know in my brain I was thinking, we should be getting some Ahsoka. I know that there already is some Ahsoka stuff dropping at Walmart and things, but they're pretty simple, cheap figures. Like I've seen those big Ahsoka. I don't know if y'all seen them. I mean, they're really big, tall. I don't know if they're electronic or not, but it's just a big Ahsoka. But I will say this: I was in Target and saw the Ahsoka head dresses. The things you put on your head to give you the Montrails. That's crazy. And I told my wife, I'm like, hey, you want one? Come on. She's just like, nah.
No, this is how no, Austin, no.
Really?
Shut up.
I haven't seen this. Who makes these?
I'm assuming it's all Hasbro, but
Yeah,
it could be somebody different. I need to look that up and see what exactly who put that out, because that's something that's starting to get on my nerves, is the whole the Flash. I'm seeing, number one, barely any McFarlane toys at Target or whatever. I didn't see any at Walmart, but they have at Target. You could have gotten some of the movie toys if you could have gotten your hands on them. But what's funny is I was just in Target and they had the Dark Flash on clearance for $5 or $6. I think it was $5.95. And I was super tempted. But I didn't. I didn't have an interest. I'm like, if this was Supergirl, probably would have bought it. If it was Flash, probably would have bought it, because I already got the Batman Flash. Yeah. I've got the unmasked Batman variant. I've got the Batman pre-ordered on Amazon, on back order. So if they get another one in, I'll get it at least for $18.99. Yeah, I was like, I'll finally throw my hat in the ring, but I'm satisfied with what I have, is my point. But anyway, at Walmart they would have not the who's doing the McFarlane. It was who did we say it was before? Not Trend Masters. It was a Spin Masters.
Oh yeah, Spin Masters.
And so I'm seeing all that, but it's it's kind of cheap. Yeah. They're okay, but they're
geared for kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that too, and that's actually a pretty cool thing, where you could just be like, look, my kid's just going to beat up and chew on these toys or blow them up or whatever. So yeah, give them the cheaper option. But it's confusing at the same time, because I'm looking for. I would expect them to have all the range. I guess all the makers of that brand, that license. Yeah. So if they're promoting the Flash, it would be Spin Masters, McFarlane Toys, and whoever else is doing it, because it seems like at least Star Wars does that, I guess. But it always tends to be the same people under the same house, isn't it? All of Hasbro does most
pretty much.
Of it.
Yeah, pretty much Hasbro, and I think is Fisher Price theirs, or is it something else?
It's either
Fisher
that
Price
or Mattel.
might be Mattel. Yeah, Fisher Price is Mattel, but Hasbro
Mattel.
has.
Yeah.
Don't they have a kids sort of brand that's not called Hasbro, like Fisher Price is to Mattel. Maybe it is Hasbro, and I'm just thinking stupid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It just seems to me like Hasbro is just across the board. Like you see Hasbro in everything. It's got Hasbro on it. Even if it's little kids' toys, boom, Hasbro.
Well, makes sense. They have the master
Or
license.
Play School or something like that.
Play School. That's what I was looking for. Play School.
Maybe Play School is
because they do the little, the two, maybe the arms move. That's it. On those little bitty figures, and the vehicles and stuff. Which some of the vehicles are pretty cool for that. In the Star Wars world.
I'll see kids like when I go to kids' birthday parties and stuff that get those Star Wars toys, and I'll play with the vehicles. And even the Falcon I played with when it came out. I'm like, this thing they're pretty neat. I mean, yeah, the toys were kind of limited, but the vehicles were pretty neat. I mean, for a tiny kid.
So let's segue into the actual action figures that Hasbro just put up for a pre-order today, and I will share the screen here. And of course, the first one up is Sabine Wren, and very nice looking Sabine. Looks just like I don't know the actress that plays Sabine in this. Do you know? I'm sure Ray knows.
I forgot her name.
Ray, you know everything. Why do you not know this?
It's I'm trying to remember her name. It's Natasha Lou Bordizzo.
Okay, it looks just like her. I mean that.
Natasha Lou Bordizzo, yeah.
That face sculpt looks just like her, so kudos to them. Mm-hmm. And this looks, as y'all were talking earlier, it's a brand new sculpt, nothing reused that we can actually tell.
Yeah, even like being it's it would almost seem like it'd be an easy thing for them to just reuse, Bo-Katan, because I think aside from the head, even what's her name, Casca was basically just repaint. I think of Bo-Katan's body.
Oh, really?
So I think this looks all new. All the pieces I'm seeing, unless they probably reused some smaller things, like maybe they reused like leg parts or something.
Yeah, I'm loving it from what I'm seeing. Great. But I'll tell you the number one thing that's the big difference from the animated, or I guess the animated version of the Sabine figure is those ankles way sturdier than the other ankles, because the other ankles are like Ahsoka, where they're like paper thin, and I'm like, that girl's just gonna snap if the wind blows the right way. But man, I like the armor on this one. She just looks solid.
Mm-hmm. And she comes with somebody said that's Ezra's lightsaber. Is that true?
Yeah. Yep.
Season 3, because he left it with her in the finale.
That's right, man. It's been a while since I've watched that. So yeah, you're right. Another just nice looking pics of this figure.
Yeah, I think it's the first time I've seen her helmet design, because most of the trailers I've seen, unless I missed one or didn't pay attention to it, but I never saw her without her with her helmet on. I mean.
Yeah, I remember seeing her helmet on.
Yeah, so this is my first time actually seeing it. And I dig the design, really good artwork.
Mm-hmm. I mean that's straight up just cool.
Yeah, no, I'm totally sold on that for sure. Yeah. I mean, I it's pre-ordered, but yeah, the more I look at it, and I'm excited to have Ezra's that lightsaber. Mm-hmm. Because I've got the first release.
So that was my other question. Did y'all pre-order it?
I did. Yeah, I pre-ordered that one.
Yeah, I pre-ordered Sabine and the other new figure. This is okay. I mean, it still looks great. But it's the same thing. I believe
I was going to say
this looks exactly like the one from the Mandalorian.
It looks like the feet, like the arm, maybe the armor and the feet may be a little bit different. That's the only thing I could think of that may be a tad different, is that, and maybe the facial expression or something is slightly different.
See, look at her feet. She's got like ninja shoes on.
She's got those. She's got these. Yeah, she's got those for the regular
really?
Okay. She's been wearing them ever since she started her live action stuff. Has had
this, okay. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, because her stuff is very kind of like
ninja-ish.
Yes, like the
samurai, or not samurai.
Yeah, the aesthetic of it kind of evokes that old samurai look.
Oh, I mean, it's a cool looking figure.
She's definitely awesome. But from when I was looking at mine, it looks like from what I can see, there's not really much of a difference.
Yeah. The face, I think it's the same face and everything.
So this is pretty much just a cash grab.
Or just a reissue. I mean, how could you? It would be a bit weird to have Ahsoka be the only character that you don't put in the a line for the Ahsoka wave.
Yeah,
but it does look like. I mean, I guess that's Dave Filoni, or well, I mean, it's his show, so it obviously probably be down to him. But
I would have at least maybe added a cloak. Maybe they should have added like a cloth goods cloak at least, or something like as an addition to kind of differentiate or something.
But and it didn't look like he changed her look really between the Mandalorian and this. Looks like he's keeping the same kind of look for her.
Has she always had curved blades?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hilts.
I mean, I think since she got these new ones,
because she didn't have that in the Clone Wars.
No, not in the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars, they were like,
I think
they were straight.
Yeah,
wasn't
like in Clone Wars. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ray.
Well, I was just gonna say, wasn't her final pair, like the blue ones that she got at the end in the final season, weren't they blue? I mean,
they were blue, curved? But they weren't. They weren't
curved.
They were straight.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, they were definitely the new ones she got in Rebels, in the Rebels era. Some point, whenever she got the white bladed lightsabers, that's when it looks like she must have kind of adapted to the curved hilt, which is cool. I love it. I'm always been a sucker for that since Dooku.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's definitely something that they've done with since Rebels.
Okay, it's been a while since I've gone back to revisit Rebels, so I probably need to do that before Ahsoka. And finally, we have General Hera Syndulla. She's a general now. Okay,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yep, another.
Hey, and I called that one. I called that when we were wondering.
Yeah,
yes, I did. I said it's going to be Hera.
Yep.
Yeah, no, she's a
fantastic choice for it. Yeah.
And look, I love that she's got the flight jacket. Oh, the pilot's jacket. Oh man,
I love finally seeing like a live action Hera. Finally, like that's one character I was real. For a character that got really big, even though she wasn't the star character of the show, Rebels, she was part of the main crew, main storyline. But the big lead was always kind of, it was Ezra and Sabine kind of for the two of them. And so
she's going into the time force, the speed force.
Blew up.
Speed force. Barry.
I gotta go back in time. I have to stop.
Barry just adopts
stop Kanan from dying. Yeah, you said it before me. I was gonna say stop Kanan from dying.
I'm sorry. We all want it. That's the thing, is we all want that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that pose.
I know one person who doesn't want that. Freddie Prinze Jr. doesn't want that.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't. He's done with Star Wars.
Dave, I told you, Dave. I'm sorry, Dave.
I'm done. But again, pretty cool action figures.
Yeah.
So,
it's a small wave, and I imagine they're going to do more. This is probably just their initial. And with all the promotion around, there are 3 female leads. I mean, imagine they're all going to be leads. Like, I mean, it definitely looks like Sabine's going to be a lead with her. But I'm curious about how big of a part Hera's going to have. If she's going to be part of the main storyline, popping up in every episode, or if she's going to be someone who just, shows it, maybe about half of them.
Yeah, I assumed that there was going to be some sort of a parallel storyline or something where
that's true
where like Ahsoka and Sabine will have to be on their thing, and then Hera and all them are sort of having to piece it all together and follow the trail or something, or deal with their own set of problems back here,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was just kind of my assumption.
Yeah, before we start the posters, because I know we need to segue into the posters, but I mean, and you can leave it back on that picture if you want to. It's amazing to me how when the very first season of the Clone Wars, people hated, the Star Wars fans hated Ahsoka. Right?
I know I didn't like her. I thought it was ridiculous
at the beginning.
There were the obvious, there are the obvious bad actor haters that just didn't like the idea. There's this new girl lead, teenager. I think my main problem was the logistic of the whole concept of Anakin getting to have a Padawan
Yes.
Suddenly, within the Clone Wars 3 years, and we know that whoever this is most likely has to be dead by the events of the third movie.
Oh, yeah.
So it feels like, well, why on earth are you going to introduce this character and expect me to, get invested when I know there's such a short story, planned, obviously it has to be a short storyline for, for it to cover those 3 years, but somehow they made like 7 seasons out of 3 years.
Yeah, and remember, we all thought that she was going to perish,
Yeah.
she was going to die as part of Order 66. For me, it was a like, even thinking back on it, to me, it was a combination of things at the time, because number one, we had already gone through the Clone Wars, and it felt like I'm done with the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I wanted the show, I was like ready. I was excited for anything Star Wars. I had that Clone Wars fatigue where I felt like we're rolling backwards instead of moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, you introduce a whole new character that is supposed to kind of disrupt the duo that is Obi-Wan and Anakin. So I'm supposed to believe that Anakin had a Padawan during it was just like a lot to swallow at one time.
Yeah.
And then they also had her just being like a smart talking, she was Snips. So
a
she was
precocious
always
teenager.
a little precocious teenager. So you're just like, man, I ain't got time for this crap. But I like that they stuck to their guns. Like, it's almost like somebody going like, hear him out.
Yeah.
Just let him finish. And then now all these years later, she got to have her final swan song, or not final, but she finally got to have her due,
And she's arguably become
one of the most
popular Star Wars characters, from hated to,
especially for a character that has yet to appear in any movies. The most we got from her is
just a matter of time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, considering she is one of the most popular ones, and yet she hasn't appeared in a film.
Yeah,
I would say that's really something right there. I think the most we got out of her was Eckstein voicing her one line in Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Yeah,
The Revenge of the Skywalkers.
Well, whatever it is, those.
But my thing,
Reign of the Skywalkers. Later. I'm gonna drop ship all the little Skywalker clones.
Anywho,
that's a plot line right there. There we go.
Anywho, let's dive into these posters and see what the character posters that Lucasfilm released.
Yeah, I mean, it really wasn't much, but they did do Ahsoka, obviously, which looks cool.
Yeah,
I love Sabine's.
Yeah, going back, I don't know, man. I just again, is she going to be a Jedi? I mean, did she ever in Rebels? I don't recall them ever hinting at.
She has training. She has proper training because the Darksaber storyline.
Right. Yeah. Towards the end, they started really pushing towards it.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I need to go.
I would say she definitely has a better chance of using. Whether or not she's force powered. It was. There was nothing force. From what I've always understood and interpreted with the lore was a lightsaber. The only reason, a non-Jedi person is discouraged from using a lightsaber is because how easy it is that you can just either kill yourself or dismember yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I imagine if you have proper training, you can still become proficient in it, as in with any, bladed, like what do they call them? The vibro blades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's like that, and she has more training than the regular person would because she, trained with Darksaber under Kanan. She trained under him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say yeah.
And then a nice look. And there's the little gun she has.
Yep.
That comes with the figure, and it looks pretty accurate.
It looks like such a 70s pose. I love it. It looks like something from a cover of some hip 70s movie. She's like a spy.
My only thing is I wish they would have had a Chopper poster. They should have included a Chopper character poster because we're going to love us some Chopper. But I'm actually excited for Elsbeth, what was she? The magistrate or whatever?
Yeah, the magistrate.
Morgan what was her name? It was Elsbeth. Morgan Elsbeth. Mm-hmm. That's right. And I don't know if we may have talked about this in a previous episode, but she is basically she's not the granddaughter of Bruce Lee, but she is sort of I guess she's so far like one of the inherited people of kind of like, was handed down Jeet Kune Do. Her father, yeah. I'm trying to, because basically it's a long story, but I think her father was one of the first people. What's her full name?
That trained
Not
with
Morgan.
Bruce Lee or something?
Yeah, it's like her father trained under, I think, when Bruce Lee was running his Jeet Kune Do classes.
Okay.
Yeah, her name was Diana Lee Inosanto. And
well, she got Lee in the name.
That's what, but I think that was in honor. I think it was
okay.
But,
I didn't know if that meant she really was a descendant or something.
Oh yeah.
I really do want to. I do want to trace her lineage though. Let me.
Because she looks like I don't know.
23andMe.
It's hard to tell how old somebody is, but I know Brandon Lee had a sister.
Yeah,
right?
see her. She learned. See, her father is Dan Inosanto, who is and see she was when she grew up, she was surrounded by the martial arts world, studying many forms including Jeet Kune Do and Eskrima, which she learned from her father Dan Inosanto, a student of Jeet Kune Do founder Bruce Lee.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, she was I mean, so I just look at, when I think of her, she's like Bruce Lee lineage. And so it was awesome to see her tangling with Ahsoka and the Mandalorian. So I can't wait to see how they evolve her character going forward.
Yeah, she's just
a
puppet of Thrawn,
right? Pretty much. It's probably what it's going to boil down to. But this guy, Balin.
Yep.
I mean, obviously now my heart's tweaked because now we no longer have him with us, and I'm sad. So I want to see his performance even more. But God, man, he just looks, he just looks dark. Balin's skull, how you want to say it.
I love
it.
I
like the color they chose for the lightsabers.
Yeah.
It's not red.
It's like an orange.
It's like an orange.
It's like Mandarin.
It is, but it's almost like a nod.
Tangerine. Sorry. Yeah, it's like tangerine.
But it's almost like a nod to A New Hope, because when that movie first came out, there was some debate on what color that lightsaber was. And even if you look back at the vintage figures, Darth Vader's lightsaber is not red, it's orange.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if that's some of Dave Filoni's,
that's because everything was in a glaze back in the day.
Yeah.
But no, I was going to say, though, I love his armor too.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I love his lightsaber design, because I've seen they showed him. I can't remember which Comic-Con presentation or something. They had the props out, and I think you'll probably be able to get these lightsabers soon at like Disney parks or something. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure.
But I love the grip on his, and just the design of the here in the cross guard and all that. I mean, this looks great. And then obviously Shin Hati. She looks awesome, and her lightsaber design I love her lightsaber design. It's basically like Kanan's. It looks like, it's got that rounded part, but then it also rises from there. So it's everything. I don't know. All the production design so far is looking absolutely fantastic. And guess what, guys? The title card, the Ahsoka, actually looks good, because Disney had been doing pretty terrible at like the titles and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like just cheap, like cheap Photoshop or some whatever, gimmicks.
It's like, it looks like they just let Dave actually do what he wanted.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm totally excited with these. These are good choices.
Yeah.
No Thrawn yet, though. Obviously, we don't see Thrawn.
Yeah, those are three characters that I imagine would be on another wave of, Black Series figures after this first wave.
Oh, yeah,
I would see Thrawn, Ray Stevens' character, and Shin Hati,
and maybe even Morgan Elsbeth.
Maybe, yeah.
But I would hope so. To be honest with you, I would have loved to have had a figure of her with the staff, from the Mandalorian episode. One thing I will say though, is, have y'all seen any of the new TV spots and stuff of the show? One thing they keep pushing is, I wonder who this Inquisitor looking person is that keeps showing up. I want to know. They've released the name of the person.
Who is it?
I'm trying to remember. It was revealed, I think, in a Lego set. Let me see if I can find it real quick, and I can tell you. Yeah, here it is. It's the T6 Jedi shuttle set.
Mhm.
If you look it up, it's got. Let's see. I was trying to find the
Marok.
Marok. Is that it?
Yep.
Come on, continue. I was going to pull up the actual. Okay.
But I mean, that could stand for something else. Don't they get new names?
Oh yeah, oh for sure. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like, and plus they keep hiding the face, so it makes me wonder who this is going to be. But yeah, that's why I'm like, it's pretty interesting. But
what if it's okay? Who like you got to look back and say who did Ahsoka like maybe in the Clone Wars have like some sort of intimate, not maybe a relationship. What we have a relationship, but not like a love interest, but like just some sort of connection with. And I'm
well, I'm
wondering
trying to
if it's
remember
not that the Padawan for
Luminara.
yeah.
Well, I was going to say Barris. I was trying to remember if Barris Ophi died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
because I know
I
she
don't-
was the one that basically betrayed. I mean, she was the one that basically did all the bad stuff, and Ahsoka got blamed for it. And then when it came out that that Ahsoka was clear, but and they were like, "Oh, we're so sorry, Ahsoka, come back to us." She's like,
Yeah, but did
she
they
just gave him
kill
the
her?
fingers. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to remember. Because me and my wife just finished the Clone Wars series, and I don't think they killed her off. So I'm wondering, and this is also based off of some recent reading I've had, that she may have she could have also survived. There may have been a path for her forward, because obviously she betrayed the Jedi Order. If she was alive during the clone, like if she never died at the end of the Clone Wars,
She did.
the Emperor probably gave her leeway. Like he probably sent her to the Inquisitorius to.
Yep. I think that's probably what it is. That's probably who it is. It's got to be, because that would be some impactful, fight there. I
Wow,
think that
dude.
Dave would probably,
Yeah,
like
and that's good. And what's so crazy is it shocks me, because I know, and I'm sure Ray, you may feel the same way. In the original expanded universe, Luminara and Barris, they were both like highly respected Jedi, Master and Knight.
Mhm.
And so in this canon, Luminara stays respectable, but Barris ends up being like a failure, a dark Jedi.
Yep.
She just doesn't believe it. That's a pretty crazy twist that they use. I will say though, it was kind of sad, because in the original canon, she was a healer.
Mhm.
Like that was her
Yeah.
specialty, was as a medic. So I bet some people that may have been fans are probably like, that's not right. She's not dark, but she's dark because of
The
what you
story.
believe, and then that is what you believe. Yeah, story. But I like how it's like she's not necessarily bad. She was just twisted in some way, like manipulated.
But this is the circle completing itself, right? If that's her, I mean, finally facing her again, And,
yeah, now that we've talked it through, I think that's probably the
it's
truth.
gotta
I
be
bet
her.
that's her.
It's got to be her. And if it's anything other than her, I will call this whole show a failure right now.
I don't want it. I'm just trying to think, who else could it be? Like they'll take the mask off, and it's like, what if it's Ezra? What if it's somehow Ezra back? And like,
what if Thrawn turned him over to
or and something like that. Like maybe they went out to the unknown regions, and somehow Ezra got sent. Thrawn was freed. Ezra was sent off to the Emperor's manipulation camp or whatever. Off on Exegol or whatever, and was twisted. No, but I don't know if they would do that. But I bet you that's probably two of the main suspects. It's probably number one, Barris Ophi, and if not, number two, it could be Ezra. But I don't know if it would be Ezra, just because that would be too. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want them to waste his character on something like that. It needs to be something different. I don't know.
That's almost like
wrong, but
bringing Luke Skywalker back after 40 years and turning him into an old geezer who's scared of everything.
Or just a stormtrooper commando or something, that has PTSD, schizophrenia or something.
I was being facetious.
But no,
you were being subversive. You were subverting our expectations.
Yeah, whatever.
But no, me and my wife though, thank God, like, woo, we finished the Clone Wars, guys. We finished them.
Wow,
So
that's
I'm excited.
that's a heavy lift there.
I'm telling you, it's at a certain point, which you can, when you watch the series, you can tell the shift when the quality really gets better. Which, I mean, that I'm not shirking the first few seasons. They're good. They got good, arcs. But I just felt like it really changes gears when you hit probably season 4, season 3, season 4, because definitely when you hit Dathomir and you start to learn about the witches and then Savage Opress, his character is brought in, and when they bring Darth Maul back, when that stuff gets rolling, then you've got yourself a stew. I mean, even my wife, she said that's her favorite stuff of all the Clone Wars is the Dathomir stuff. It really, and I like the old EU story. I'm glad that they brought them over from the old EU because I thought that was a pretty cool, like a coven of witches that use the dark side to their own, twisted machinations.
So when y'all were watching this, did you go and look up the timeline order and how to actually watch the episodes? Or did you just blow through them one through?
No, if you know me, I'm OCD and I'm a chronological freak. So it's like I will have to watch it in sequence. So yeah, we had I looked it up online. StarWars.com has the list. I don't know if you've looked it up. Yeah. But they have the list and it shows all the episodes of how you watch it in order. And not only that, if you remember, I've mentioned this in previous podcasts, we took a pause, read the book Dark Disciple together to get the Asajj Ventress story. Yeah, because I mean they unfortunately didn't get to make that into episodes. And I'm telling you, that was a great storyline. That is a good book. And and I didn't know it was that many episodes. I think it was adapted from 6 different episodes. Yeah. 6 episodes sequentially. But I just love that story, and what a great way to end Asajj Ventress. How about this? Should I say it or should we just not say it? Should we keep it spoiler free? Because I kind of want to share it. It's one of those beautiful.
No, go ahead. I mean, it's fair game.
Ray, you want me to?
No, I already know.
Okay, you already know. I was just going to say. I just thought number one, I get it too, because Quinlan Vos was only in one other episode, so he wasn't that important in the overall grand scheme of things. But he's a fan favorite. I liked him. And it was a perfect fit for a character like Asajj Ventress. And so with the book, I like that in the end, Asajj basically, Asajj was lost, but she kind of had found her peace after everything was said and done. But Quinlan Vos was lost. And obviously, after all that time, when they were sent off to assassinate Dooku, and he gets captured and kind of twisted into believing certain things, with Asajj and I mean, it's in the end, I like that for Voss to find peace, he had to go completely dark. Like he had to fall almost completely as a Sith. And then to redeem Asajj, she had to then save him because they were, they had fallen for each other. They were truly in love with one another. And so they were each other's saving grace in the end. That was what was so beautiful about that book, was that, Asajj was saved. She basically died a Jedi because she saved another human being, or another person. Like she'd saved another life, and also redeemed him, because from coming back from the worst atrocities you could think of, because, they used him for some dark attacks, and stuff. But then you have him having his redemption because he got to basically fall to the dark side and be redeemed, so he can then, become a more, a more centered Jedi, but at the same time he's, made his circle. But anyway, I loved that story for them in that book and in those episodes. It would have been great to see it in episode form, but the book was great enough. We read that. Then we finished up the series. We just wrapped up the last season of the Clone Wars. Because I think the last 4 episodes was the final arc. It was kind of like it's one big movie, and that obviously is great. I love the fight scene where Ray Park got to film choreograph and fight do the mocap scene for the fight. Him and Ahsoka. I thought that was great. but now we're leading in. We started up the Bad Batch, so
okay.
that's going to be. I want to
buckle
get
up.
caught up with that. Yeah,
Buckle up.
I'm ready because it starts off a little slow, a little kind of like. And I told her, I'm like, we got to get it going. I know there's probably like just a lot of catching up to do because we got to get acclimated to this new world because Order 66 just happened. They're confused. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure the story's going to get rolling soon. So, but no, I'm excited. I've been wanting to watch this series. I had already kind of started it and then stopped. And especially once me and her got rolling on Clone Wars, I'm like, we're just going to wait and I'll watch this with her and then we'll watch Rebels again and hopefully do all of that in time for Ahsoka.
That's
but
a
I
big
don't know.
lift. That's a big lift, man. You got 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I don't know, man. We've been killing it because we've done that. Well, I can't say we. I've been killing like the Marvel show. I've been watching Spider-Man. I say Marvel shows, but I watched the Spider-Man first season animated series, and I've seen X-Men animated series first season.
Yeah.
And just wow, like I know this isn't the Marvel show, but I forgot how well written and just well produced those X-Men episodes were. Just, I mean, it was like a kid. It's almost like a kid's teenager's comic book soap opera because I mean it was one long arc every episode, but they were just so well written. Like it wasn't just, I don't know, if there was any cheesiness, it was just in delivery or in just kind of given the information. But other than that, it's a pretty strong series. So
I don't want to keep us on that, but if you're looking for a good Spider-Man show, The Spectacular Spider-Man. It's only one season, and it's sad that it only got one season, but it is fantastic.
I'll definitely have to check it out. I mean, I've been trying to like just go through this, and I've been watching, just a lot of that kind of stuff. But I'm probably going to go through the old Star Wars series again, like Droids, and I've been watching Ewoks and all that. Just we've been in Star Wars mode, dude. I mean, it's like Ahsoka in this house, like crazy.
You've been handing money to Bob Iger,
pretty much.
So Sky Knight says, "Oh, the Bad Batch is my favorite modern Star Wars project," and yeah. I mean, to me, it's one of my favorites because it does have that Clone Wars look to it. It has the Clone Wars feel. It feels like the Clone Wars brother, right? It's that close. It's like
it's got to be the same team. I'm sure it's probably the same animators.
Well, it could be, but as far as writing goes, I was surprised to find out Dave Filoni is just like he's a producer on the show.
I think he probably just helped pitch the concept out.
But they've got their own set of writers and stuff, and I was like surprised because it flows very well, with the Clone Wars, and the stories are just absolutely great. So you're in for a treat, Austin. It's a good show.
I'm definitely excited. We're excited.
It's a good show.
I mean, I'm all for it.
You're gonna hear some Rhea Perlman, and then your heart's just gonna be in delight.
I love Rhea Perlman. Anytime her or Danny DeVito just skip across my TV, it's a good day.
What are you guys doing walking back into my bar?
Oh yes. Okay, so what are some of the things that you're expecting to see from Ahsoka? Like, it comes out the 23rd. We're going to get the first 2 episodes. What are your hopes for this series? What do you expect to get out of Ahsoka in this first season? Because I'm sure there's going to be another. We'll start with Ray. Go.
Not to put me on the spot.
Put you on the spot.
I would say not an expectation. I guess things I'm assuming or thinking are going to happen from a writer's perspective. I think this is one Star Wars story that's going to kind of dive more into the mystical force side of Star Wars again.
Yeah,
which I don't have any problem with right now because a lot of stuff we've been doing recently with Star Wars has kind of focused more on the more naturalistic side of Star Wars. So it's more like we got. The Mandalorian season 3 was very grounded and mostly just about the Mandalorians themselves. And then, there was also Andor, which was very, political intrigue and spy stuff. So this is kind of that chance to jump back into that mystical stuff, which Obi-Wan, I think maybe kind of scratched the surface of, but it stayed more character based. It wasn't very mystical because Obi-Wan was very cut off from most of the storyline until what maybe the second episode. I think he started to get it back.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to just kind of jump right back into it because I mean, if there's anybody who's really good with lore stuff, I would say Dave Filoni's been very great with expanding the mystical Force concept stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. It looks like what's it called? It's going to probably play some part in it, but the World Between Worlds. If some of the screenshots are to be believed, are not faking us out, but looks like there's that confrontation she has with Balin, and you notice the room is in looks very much like a star map type room.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's anything meaning that's going to go back. It's going to go back to that. But just that I think there's going to be more lore expansion with this storyline. I think everybody else really hasn't done much in terms of like changing the lore and lore concepts in new ways or adding something new to it. There hasn't been too much of that recently. It's just new stories, new characters, stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see that. So, Austin, what are your thoughts on?
I mean,
or what do you expect from it?
I'm obviously expecting the Thrawn plot to get thicker, and they're going to lead up to something. But I'm trying to temper my expectations because I want Thrawn so bad, but I bet he probably won't show up until. I mean, we probably won't even see him in the first 2 episodes. If we do, it'll probably be a quick glimpse, and then we won't see him again until maybe the last episode of the season or something, and it'll still be a glimpse. I don't know, but
I will say that was you thinking back, that was one flaw I would say the Mandalorian kind of kept repeating is we're gonna like spend he's gonna have his adventures for the first part of the season, and then all of a sudden at the end Gideon's gonna pop up, Giancarlo Esposito's gonna pop up, and then he's gonna be featured fully in the next episode.
Yeah,
that did seem like good. That was kind of a repeat. Like I noticed that by the third one, I was like, okay, it seems like they really only save him for these last few episodes.
That's true.
So I'm hoping it's not something like that with Thrawn. I'm hoping it's not something that they just talk about Thrawn and then he shows up only in the last episode.
Well, if that's the thing is if they're expecting to utilize him in the movie, that's why I'm expecting him to be so small, in the shows as they'll have him full blown in the movie. I could be wrong. They could be planning something else for the movie, but anyway, I think my expectation, obviously, besides Thrawn and all that, I want good fights, like really good lightsaber fights, and good, like well choreographed, something that is eye pleasing, really well, filmed. I mean, which it looks like from the show. I mean, from the trailers we've seen, it looks flashy and looks great. So I can't wait to see more of that. And obviously, I want some space action, because we've got the Rebels crew and stuff. So I want to see the Ghost flying around in live action and just that kind of stuff. I mean, that's going to blow my mind if we see the Ghost flying around shooting TIE fighters. I'm going to have a meltdown.
Give us one episode with Zeb too. I wouldn't mind that.
I know that's my thing.
He's probably an expensive character, so they could probably only really afford him believably for maybe 1 or 2 episodes at the most. So I hope they can find a way to help include him in some capacity.
They do need it.
It felt like that. Well, his cameo in last season of The Mandalorian, that felt like there maybe Dave's kind of hinting that here he is. We've got him in live action. Just to let you know. So maybe
I would build an animatronic of him. No, seriously, I would try my best to map out storyboard every shot so which shots he's in, what you're going to need CG for. Because and that's the thing is some shots you will need him but no CG. You could just have the animatronic there. Mm-hmm. Man, I would do anything to A, save money, and B, get him in the dang series as much as possible.
Well, don't you think?
Really would.
Well, don't you think that's what they did? That was his whole purpose of appearing in The Mandalorian. Is probably some money saving scheme. Like, okay, well, we're gonna put him in The Mandalorian because we can use the Mandalorian budget to build out his CG likeness,
Yeah.
right? That saves money. So we already have it for Ahsoka. We can go put it in, use that base that we
It's
already
not.
have for
I mean,
Ahsoka.
that's not a bad idea because they probably got bigger budgets with each season, considering how
Yeah.
popular the Mandalorian got. So they probably thought like this. Not a bad idea. Let's go ahead and use this as a springboard to go ahead and get his 3D model ready for
Yeah,
live
that's what I
action.
was. Yeah, 3D model. I was the brain fart.
That would be cool, but I would love for him to also just have like a full body double, like an animatronic double to have just for doubling on set. Just like I said, so you could save money so you're like, all right, he's going to be in this shot, but just so I don't have to spend the money on the CG for this, I'm just going to throw that animatronic in, and all he's got to do is just kind of sit there and move his head and blink or something and shift, and then cut to the next. That's really all you need. Yeah, I mean, because I feel like you could nowadays with our technology and what they've accomplished in animatronics, they could do it easily. I think it would look great. That's just my opinion. I just want the character in the show more. He looked great in Mandalorian. So.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. So for me, I think that it's a tough one. So I've been hearing some rumors, right? I don't want to go too crazy with the spoiler stuff.
I'm gonna make a guess. I'm gonna make a guess of what your biggest expectation is.
Okay, go ahead.
You want to see a live action Nogri. You want to see the new Rook, right? Is that what it is?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So
sure?
there's some. I mean, if we saw him, if we saw him, that'd be cool. Even the little what do you call it on the shoulder? The
the Salamir.
Yeah, Salamir, whatever you call it.
I could see the Salamir popping up, being that he's kind of probably learned more about Jedi by this point.
But there's another spoilery rumor floating around that we're going to get to see some flashbacks to some other stuff in this series that getting to see different angles of things that I'm really looking forward to, and getting to see a certain person again, in Star Wars.
Are you talking about? I mean, should we just say it?
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about. Are you talking about young Ahsoka?
Well, no, not young Ahsoka. Not young Ahsoka. And we may get. I think we will,
because there is a. If you even look in the cast list on Wikipedia, I believe they say like so and so actress is also playing a younger version of the character.
Yeah, I'm talking more about Anakin.
Yeah, Savannah. I want to get more. Savannah Stein. It's Steyn, but yes, she's gonna reportedly play a younger version. Yeah. So we might see her Clone Wars look.
I just want to get more Anakin, I think, but I want them to do Anakin right this time. Let's really do some CGI on Hayden Christensen to get him looking like he did in the Revenge of the Sith era. Make him look a little bit younger, because there were, I had some issues with Obi-Wan. And a lot of it was budget and CGI related.
So, what about? Do you think they'll have him just as flashbacks, or do you think they might toy around with his Force Ghost form in the present? I'm hoping they do that, because I'd like to see some like conversations that can be had there about what went wrong.
I think the way that we will get it is, we've already seen a little bit of it. We've seen Ahsoka and what was his name? Balin?
Yeah. Baylor, I think.
Baylor or something. It looks like they're in the world between worlds, like a little area. And I think we're going to get to see Ahsoka in there looking at different points in the timeline of things. I don't know if she's going to manipulate anything, or she's just going back and looking. I mean, they could do the flashback thing, but I think it's going to be more in here where we're going to see some cool stuff happening.
All right. So now that you've said that, here's the impression of the angry Star Wars YouTuber who thinks that this is going to be their pathway to erasing episodes 8 and 9. Now, if you see here, this part right here in the upcoming Ahsoka, she's going to use the world between worlds made by our God, Dave Filoni. And he's going to fix it and make it so Luke was always around and kicking butt. And when his little nephew tried to kill him, he just beat that little craphead to the ground.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? We don't need no Rey Skywalker. We don't need no girls leading this. That's why Ahsoka's going to die immediately when it's done. and they're gonna bring Obi-Wan back from the dead, and
Oh.
Ewan McGregor's gonna get a 5-movie contract.
And we just got 5 million views on that video. So Sky Knight says, "I want the Qui-Gon Force Ghost again." Hey, you know, I'd
I
love to
want
see it too,
Qui-Gon
man.
in any
I think the only-
form. I want Qui-Gon.
The only person who doesn't want that is Liam Neeson, unfortunately.
So he didn't like coming back in Obi-Wan?
He's just not invested in Star Wars. Like, you ever listen to him in interviews, like, he does it. He had fun doing it, and he made good friendships doing it. But like, the only reason he did the cameo for Obi-Wan was because he was friends with Ewan. He thought, like, it'd be a fun thing to hang out with Ewan some and revisit this character. Just just do this one little thing. I think it was like a day or two's work to just go and hang out with with an old friend. So get paid to hang out and just dress up for a little bit. And then he says literally 1 or 2 lines, I think.
Yeah.
Listen, all these people that don't want Star Wars anymore, I know one person that does, and that's Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh yeah.
And I just wish somebody would make me, like, give me a meeting with him, like, so I could sit down in his office. I also need to get in touch with Matthew Stover. Hopefully he's okay. And I'm serious. If I could get the rights to that book, present it to Sam Jackson and be like, look, man, please pitch this to Disney Plus. This is your series. Adapt this Mace Windu story into a series. Cause I feel like they could just, instead of doing like Mace is alive, just do a Clone Wars story. Because he could still do it.
Yeah, is Liam Neeson kind of like Harrison Ford? Maybe. I think Harrison Ford more along the lines of, he just has that double personality where I think his exaggerated distaste of Star Wars is just that. Like, I don't think he has animosity. Yeah, it's more he plays it up now. I think it's just like, it's some fun he had. He hung out with friends. He did a fun role, but I think he was done with it probably after Return of the Jedi, but not probably out of any hatred. He was just kind of done with it. He thought the story arc for Solo was done at that point.
I will say, though, based off of some comments he made recently and just seeing his behavior and his emotional state and stuff with Indiana Jones recently, I bet he's starting to kind of have a few regrets. A few regrets. I bet he's probably starting to have a few. Like, it looks like he's a lot more tender with the characters now, especially with, I mean, he obviously loves Indiana Jones, but I think he's gotten a newfound respect for Han Solo. And I think he's now like, I think he finally, or I mean, he probably has always understood, but I think he really sees it now. Like, he really sees that, oh God, it doesn't matter how much I dislike this character or what I thought about him. The character was me. The people love the character and love me. So it's like, there's nothing I can do to escape that. It's just it's just what it is. And it's like, now he's gotten to this age where he's pretty much having to look backward, and look at it and go, man, that was that. Because I mean, he even says he had to thank George Lucas for giving him the best characters of his career. Because I mean, he gave him Indiana Jones and Han Solo as much as he could poo-poo on them, So I think he's got a newfound love, especially now in his twilight years, where he's like, you know what? I think I did do something right.
Yeah. Well, wrapping up my thoughts on it again, I that's what I hope to see. I hope to see more Anakin, because Anakin's one of my favorites in the whole Star Wars trilogy. I hope to see more of him, and I also am looking forward to seeing Ezra, how they plan on bringing Ezra back, if they bring Ezra back. I know we get to see him in little hologram form in the trailer, but they wouldn't show just that without.
Well, we also do hear him in the trailer, because I think he's saying the final. I think because remember, he made the farewell message to them in the final episode. Yeah. I think it's a recording. I think it's that recording. I think you hear that recording, but it's redone with the new actor. So it's not Ezra's old voice.
But yeah, you want to see Ezra
now, present day,
kick butt. You want to see
in action, a
Jedi kick butt. So I hope that they bring him back and not just like tease him for Dave Filoni's movie,
or bring him back for 5 minutes and then immediately kill him.
Well, yeah, I doubt they'll do that, but
I have a feeling though he in some way is gonna have to go up against Ahsoka. I just feel like there's gonna be something some circumstance where it's like, because I feel like that whole rushing off into the unknown is it also going to be Ezra taking a step forward or into his own path, and I have a feeling that to have that sort of conflict in the show. I mean, not making him like a true villain, but I bet there will be some conflict between him and Ahsoka where he will be the villain at some point, I bet. And there will probably be a fight and stuff like that. If I'm just taking a guess, because you also have to think in broad terms too, Force user versus Force user. How am I going to make a big, fight in upcoming? Because she can't fight Vader. Vader's gone. She can't. Well, she could fight Luke.
You never know in the world between worlds. She can fight anybody.
Right. But see, that's where I'm going to draw the line is if we start pulling people out, like we just start pulling people out of the timeline, and it becomes like, choose your warrior, and it's like Street Fighter Turbo.
One person committing Barry Allen levels of wrecking on the timeline is too much for Star Wars.
Yeah.
It can't handle it.
So Scott Knight says, I'm hyped that Ahsoka's got a show. She's definitely my favorite Star Wars character. Yep, she's right up there. She's right up there. If you were here in the beginning of the episode, we talked a little bit about how she went from zero to hero really quick.
Hero, just like
speaking of that, don't forget to hit that like button, that subscribe button. I'm going to put that in every now and then. Hit the like button, subscribe to That Toy Life YouTube channel. All right, so let's wrap this up with toy hauls for the week. So we'll start off with who's got the first. Who wants to go first?
I can go first. I feel like I have a pretty good bit for whatever reason this time. I will say this isn't. It's kind of a haul, but I did get this and just finished this book. So if you haven't read this yet, I would suggest it. It's actually very well. I thought it was a great story. Well written. Delilah S. Dawson was great. I liked her Phasma novel. She's writing some other stuff too. My wife just read a Disney Mirrorverse book that she wrote. So this book, I would say, if anything, at least an 8 out of 10. It was great. You follow this Jedi. It's like a character, Izcat, from Jedi to obviously he becomes an Inquisitor, and I just like the path. At first I wasn't sure. I'm like, do I care about this story? But I actually did. In the end, I actually ended up really digging this. So got that, read that. That's great. Got this in the mail.
Ooh.
Got me some Short Round. Haven't opened him yet, but he will be had fun with. I was going to say, Dr. Jones. Yeah, I was going to say I'm indecisive yet on which indie I want, because it's like I was at one point I was real close of getting the Dial of Destiny indie, but I kind of want the if I want an old indie, I think I want the Crystal Skull indie, and then I'm also wondering, I'm like, maybe I just want the Raiders indie if I can find them, or just wait and get the classic indie, or get the Last Crusade indie to go with him. Because at first I was thinking I wanted the the Temple of Doom battle damaged one, but plus I was like, I had spent so much money, I had to like hold back, and I'm like, there's so many variants of indie, I'll wait. But Short Round is my favorite. I love him.
I'm gonna break in here. Did you see that guy's playing in Loki season 2?
Which one? Oh, Keiki Kwan?
Yeah.
Wow.
Go check out the trailer.
I have to check it out. I can't, because we're on the Marvel train, so we'll eventually get to all that.
Scream at him to like dodge Jonathan Major. Just dodge. Just dodging and weaving.
Yeah. All right.
But I was gonna say, so first off, I don't know, because I had started collecting up all these figures, I finally just busted out my Black Series Darth Vader. This is actually a New Hope Vader, and this was like the 40th anniversary, I think 2017 release.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks great. The only thing I had to do is I had to alter him a little bit. They have the cloth here, the cloth that runs down under his belt. It runs on both sides of his life box, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
Is actually over the armor in the package, like on each side. So what I had to do was pick up, you had to kind of lift up this armor piece, and I had to shove the cloth up under it to get it to look accurate.
So are you a customizer now?
I guess now, because it was really bugging me. I'm like, I don't like this. I'm like, because that's supposed to be out, right? And then I started looking at photos. I'm like, yeah, wait, this armor piece is supposed to be out. So that was all it was just the cloth was that. So you had to kind of just shove it in. But yeah, now it's perfect. But yeah, no, this is actually a really good, real bulky, big Darth Vader figure. I've had him in a box forever. He was the one that came with the the paneling, so you can put all your A New Hope figures on the thing. It was like in the old classic box set where it was like what do they call that in the 70s before the figures came out? It was like you reserved the figures. What was that called, Ashley?
It was the
like the mail-in thing where you would reserve the figures
early bird kit.
That's right. Kit. They had basically recreated the early bird kit. Well, my mom actually was at an Ollie's recently and came across these figures. I've already got Han. I've already got this old Han figure, but they had this archive version with the resculpted face, and his face looks so much better. I don't know if.
No, yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah. Look, I mean, he's.
Hey, kid.
I mean, they did a great job on this face. Now I've got the other one, and he doesn't look bad, but this one is a big upgrade. So I've got the old one in my office here. You can probably see him right, whoop, bing, 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 right there. I just keep him in here, and then I put this one in my living room in the glass case for the I can't be looking all raggedy. But the main draw was boom, got Chewie
cool.
archive. Cool. Yeah, and man, he is heavy. I mean, he is big and bulky, but yeah, didn't have a Chewie, had to get a Chewie. But anyway, got Chewie, and then the last thing was I had been ranting and raving about this. I'm like, I want to get it, and I finally lost the opportunity on Amazon, and then stumbled across Mandalorian Luke in the in a Target. Yeah. So oh yeah. I've been wanting this figure. I was like, I gotta get it. I wanted to get a Jedi Luke. And I was kind of thinking about the Return of the Jedi Luke, which is similar to this one, but at the same time I really liked this release for some reason, because it was sort of like an homage to the Return of the Jedi suit, but also a little bit of his future Jedi suit as well. He just has the same belt on, is what it is from Return of the Jedi, and it's a black suit. Yeah, exactly, BB. But no, I think that's pretty much all my hauls. Yeah, other than like some comics and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all the Star Wars hauls I have.
All right, Ray, you want to go?
Yeah, I got a couple things actually from the last few weeks. First off, I got Obi-Wan Kenobi from.
Man.
So this is Obi-Wan from the final 2 episodes or so when he didn't have the Wandering Jedi look. So this is for like his duel with Vader and everything. And for this, I think when we originally saw it, we thought it was just another repaint, but no, they did a whole new face sculpt here for Obi-Wan. If you want a comparison, here. So here is Ewan's face sculpt for Tibidon Station, Wandering Jedis. They use the exact same face sculpt. It's just a different paint job for his. But anyways, and then here is.
That looks way better. Yeah.
Yeah, this is like the best sculpt I've seen yet of Ewan. So
that's way better.
Yeah, if you're a collector of Obi-Wan, I would highly suggest find this figure if you can.
I think I'm definitely definitely getting that one. That one looks like the one to get.
Yeah. That's definitely my favorite of the 3 because I got all 3 of them, like Wandering Jedi, Tibidon Station, and Javim. That's by far my favorite of the 3. I got these just came in recently. This is a new from Knights of the Republic. I got
Bastila.
Mm-hmm. That looks nice.
Oh yeah,
Bastila.
So here she is.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Dude, that
is cool.
lightsaber looks great.
Oh yeah, I've got this little stand I have her on, but yeah, it's really good, like fantastic.
Oh, that is a good figure.
Yep. Face looks good. Yep.
Yeah.
That is
Looks
a good
good.
sculpt. Yeah.
And then last but not least, another fantastic figure. Same thing from Bastila, like Bastila. Got
Oh,
Darth Malik from Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
The
man.
kind of Vader-esque kind of stand-in for the story, or would you say analog for the story? You know, the mangled, injured main bad guy.
God, he looks so
But
good.
in this, yeah, let me just show you this first, just the basics of him. You know, he's got fantastic design for it so far.
Where'd you get those bases?
These, funnily enough, found these on sale one time in Walmart. Yeah, you can still see it. Like, so these are Funko Pop.
Oh, seriously?
10-piece
They
bases.
fit.
Yeah, they fit all these perfectly. Like that, I've tried them
okay.
on all these Hasbro ones. They fit fantastically. So I've been using them as little like mini stands, and they work like a charm. But anyways, the big thing with Darth Malik here. Oh, one other thing, check his gigantic lightsaber.
I love it.
But this is the coolest part, because if you remember from Knights of the Republic, he does reveal his face for a little bit, and you finally see like what kind of damage was done by Revan when he tried to. I think Malik tried to kill him or something. You know, the typical master student Sith betrayal stuff. But anyways, from the game, you got to see his face at one point for like a brief moment of how he actually looks under the metal, and they actually included that with the figure.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The voice box, the scarring. It is
Jesus.
great. It is
that's
a fantastic figure. Yeah. So yeah, all three that I showed, I would, you know, if you get the chance and you want a good Star Wars figure of any of these are all good ones. If you like these characters and you want to get them, highly recommend.
Sweet. So that's your haul for the week.
Yeah, I mean, I do have some indie stuff, but I'll keep it with that. 3 figures is plenty.
You sure? Go ahead. We got time.
Oh, no, I just got these 2 recently this week. So this is Indiana Jones from the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I've got him set up with his machete. That's actually made like a little picture of him doing the pose yesterday and sent it to Austin with the Molaram, prepare to meet Kali in hell.
God, I love that movie so much.
And I got Indy from Dial of Destiny.
Oh, that's cool too.
Yeah, that does look good.
I haven't decided if I'm going to keep the backpack on him as I have him standing up, but
it looks cool.
It looks great. Yeah, I dig cool. It. The flashlight. Yeah, this first time. Yeah, he does. This is the first one with he's got a different bag. I never noticed his satchel is different in this movie. He's it's got a much bigger bag on it than his other ones. Like his other ones are kind of much smaller. But yeah, it's great figures, both of them. The face sculpts for Harrison are unbelievable for typical Hasbro Black Series, Marvel Legends type figures. Really good face sculpts.
Yeah, Mezco's got one of their 112 collective. They've got an Indiana Jones coming out.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, so it's going to be about $100, but it's same scale as the Legends. So, but it'll be probably way better. So I've got a small haul, and I think I showed this last week on the other show, but since we're consolidating shows here, I got this vintage collection Tusken Warrior from this is the Boba Fett series. So there you go. Yay! I get my ring light out of it so you can see what that looks like. Pretty good. Back of that, so you can see what other figures are in that wave. And then,
do you have any other? Do you have other vintage collection from Book of Boba Fett?
Not from the Book of. Yeah, I do. I have. What's her name? You're
talking about Ming-Na Wen's.
Yeah. I have her. Yeah, I have her. And then, of course, I got this Black Series Doc Ondor from Galaxy's Edge.
Because he's he's an exclusive, isn't he? You can only supposedly, I think about the only way you can get him normally is by going to
the park,
Galaxy's Edge.
But you can go to Shop
Disney.
Yeah, Shop Disney to get him.
But basically, the only way you can get is directly through Disney store stuff. Not
I would love to get him and oh gosh.
Hondo
Anaka, yeah. I was gonna say.
Oh, I think you can get him normally through Target now. I think you can get him through Target.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I've seen him on Target.com.
And then the other thing I got this week was this Tiger Force Dusty from G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing those hitting Target.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool figure. I don't know if it's worth double dipping. It's just a simple repaint in Tiger Force colors instead of his normal desert camo look. But still
like an exclusive rubber gun. It's like,
yeah, those guns suck big time. Big time. Let's stick him back.
We left him in the truck. It was hot.
Cobra whooped us up pretty good because our guns melted.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of That Toy Life. Don't forget, subscribe, hit the like button, subscribe to That Toy Life on YouTube. We need it. Help share the content. Share. We love it. Post it, plaster it on your social media. That'd be great. Before we go, we're going to get one more comment in from Sky Knight. I don't have her yet, but my friend's hooking me up with Aya Sakura.
Oh.
Yeah, Ayla Sakura.
Hang on, I can actually show you that real quick.
I was going to say I would love to get this figure.
Look who's got
it. Her. It's a her.
Oh, her. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Actually,
her.
Yeah, me and my wife actually just watched her betrayal, or the betrayal on her, and it's always so sad.
Oh, did you cry, Austin?
I mean,
that's
it's sad.
Oh, yeah, there's the Black Series. Pretty great figure. For this one, her ankle joints are a little loose.
Yeah,
I managed to still get her posed, so she's not too much. Oh, she's having trouble now. But
and she broke.
Oh no, but not a bad figure. It's a good one. Now, the sculpt's great and everything. The face sculpt is really good. I really liked it. But yeah, it's a good figure.
Cool. She sort of fell kind of awkward in the movie. That's what I didn't like.
And then they kind of like on his desk right then. She fell over, and then
it just felt like a fake fall. Like when she starts getting shot. It's just I didn't like
these silly stormtroopers.
Clone
troopers.
Go back and watch it again, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. It's
give them a piece of my mind when I stand up from here.
All right, so that's gonna do it for this week. Any last thoughts before we head on out?
I want some more expanded universe book. I want some post Return of the Jedi books. I'm tired of the High Republic, and I'm tired of like prequel era. Let's get to the future.
I haven't read enough High Republic to get tired of it yet.
No, I'm just saying in regard. I'm tired of the movement. I'm ready to just see more books on the shelves that are like Mandalorian era or something. I don't know.
I totally agree.
Just give me a Lost Stars follow-up. That's all I'm asking for.
That's what I'm talking about. Give me that.
Just give me that. Just let Claudia do it. Just go ahead. She'll knock it out of the park.
Just drop a third episode of Ahsoka while you're at it on that first day. All right, folks.
Disney can't afford it right now.
That's right. That's true.
They got to stagger this stuff for as long as they can.
That's it for this episode. We will see you next week for another edition of That Toy Life. Bye-bye.
I like this lo-fi. Let's keep going.